Daisy Mix Gourds make unique fall decor. I started my Daisy Mix Gourds from seeds in toilet paper rolls in a tiny, cheap greenhouse. We will cover growing highlights and lowlights, pruning, harvesting, and reviewing. Ready? But first, May 5th, we're looking at these daisy gourds. This one here just popped up for us. Guys, it is June 16th. We are looking at this Daisy Mix Gourd, and you can see that I've already been doing a little bit of pruning down here, chopping and dropping, giving it some more airflow, pushing that energy up into where we want it to be. It's not necessary, it's not a must. However, it does help you with airflow, it helps you with reducing powdery mildew, and also with pest issues. Look at this leaf. How these two are just beautifully etched with this green. Almost like it's bleached out. These are the older ones though at the bottom. And I also started to train or weave this one back into the trellis. So I'm checking for the rest of those. This one I might be able to take in right now. So I'm just gonna curve it over, because if I go straight back, I'm going to actually bust that vine, and I don't want to do that. So now it's nice and flipped in without hurting anything. So you guys, I am out here trimming just a little bit. You can see what I trimmed. I'm really just trimming these lower yellow to brown leaves and a lot of the dead blooms. There's a lot of bee activity out here in the morning. It's about 8 a.m. And you can see them in here, and they kind of keep coming back and forth. Okay, mind the hose over there. But I made a very fantastic discovery. First one. So excited. The birds absolutely love to be up here on this. You can tell from all of their little bird droppings. It is July 14th, and I have spotted another one out here on this Daisy Mix Gourd, and it looks like another one is developing right in here as well. There's lots of bee activity this morning, and you can see we have another one developing right there as well. So all looks excellent. I am going to come out here. I'm going to trim these dead blooms off of here. You guys, it is July 21st, and this is the one and only gourd that is this size. We've got one right here. You can see in the middle. It is not going to make it. So we have now had 3 females. Only one is making it so far. This one right here, I don't know about that. I mean, to just have one, I think is really disheartening. They say they will be productive if you don't overcrowd them. I have 6 in this container. They do not look overcrowded at all to me. There's lots of airflow here. I do notice that the tendrils on these really aren't grabbing on. I have to do all of the work and go ahead and tie them up. Even when I come back and look, I mean, look, this is so close right here. It's not grabbing onto anything. So you really have to take precautions when you're dealing with wind conditions, which I definitely set this up that way, which probably was not the best idea, but I love the idea of vertical gardening this. Not everything is best suited for a skinny little trellis. All right, this is what it looks like today, and honestly, the top of it is kind of reminding me of those cheap brown and serve rolls, the way they make this little shape here, not the color, but just the shape at the top. Today is July 31st. Look at that. Getting some side shoots here as well, which I'm gonna have to go in and tie that up. I did leave a little bit of slack on this one, so I can go ahead and tie the side shoot down. And look at what I discovered. There's another little yellow one starting right here. I love how it's starting to get arched and formed almost by itself. It does still need a little bit of help. We are starting to see some powdery mildew start to form here. I did stop pruning these, hoping maybe that was the problem. Plus, honestly, I got really irritated on the lack of productivity here. Till July 31st, I went ahead and I cut anything that looked like it had some powdery mildew on it. And I did leave this one here because I want you to see that this powdery mildew is also getting into the vine. I also cut just about everything down here. Also do want to point out I seen 0 squash bugs back here, which I am insanely, look at that, insanely happy about, because I also had a patty summer squash in this galvanized tub last year, and I'm kind of surprised I haven't, and I had squash bugs in this tub because of that. So I'm insanely happy that that hasn't happened. I want to point out that this has split here. Guys, it's been a week now. It is next Sunday, and I don't think this one here is going to be viable either. This one's still on the vine down here. But I really, I'm not finding this to be prolific at all. Very irritated. Alright, it is August 11th. Look at this and this. Very encouraging. Alright, it is August 12th today, and look at this. And I completely did not see this. I just shot the 2 over here on the other side that I showed you, so I'm becoming very, very happy to see all of this growth and development. Still have some powdery mildew happening here, so I need to take care of that. All right, here is a look at how this looks now. Really top heavy. And here is our little gourd, and it reminds me of a pumpkin that I grew, I think it was 2 years ago. It reminds me a lot of that, especially with the striping. It's definitely deeply ribbed around here. It kind of looks like little heart clusters. I guess when you look at it this way, it does kind of look like a daisy. This is pretty gorge. Guys, it is August 15th. I want to point these 2 out and these 2 out, right here and right here. Also, we have these 2 starting right here at the tip, and this one right here as well. And look at that. Like I said, I'm very pleased at the end of Guys, it is August 18th. Simone and I are out here in the garden, and we are looking at this Daisy Mix. So as far as water goes, you do want to water deeply. You want it moist, but not wet. Look at this. I'm getting another one right here at the tip. Ooh, isn't that excellent? Early morning, we got that bee activity going on for us. Okay, so this can handle a light frost, but it could affect the color and the ability for these gourds to dry later. Okay, now that the bee's gone, see those developing well for us. Oop, and look at this one. There's that bee back again. I'm getting a lot of powdery mildew This is a female because it has a little baby gourd at the end. This is a side profile of what the male gourds look like. Guys, it is September 1st today. I did some pruning out here because it was mildew city. And it is not doing well. I have another one right here open with a little baby. And one right here. We should have way more on this plant than what I can see. So they are dropping off very fast and furious. The one that was down here, I got pictures of. I've since deleted because it just drops and it just decomposes right where it's at. You can kind of see it right here. All right, looking at this offshoot right here, which is full of mildew, but when you get down to the very tip, you can see where there is going to be a possibility of a new gourd right there. And here's another one that just died. Looking again at the tip of this one, another opportunity here, and another opportunity right here. The problem is, it just seems to be a fleeting opportunity and nothing is sticking. It is September 11th today, and this offshoot is proving to be quite fruitful. Got a little gourd here, and one here, and one there. Got one on this side, and I also have one possibly starting right here. That's yellow. It is September 15th today, and quite some growth here. Look at this one. Look at this little green beauty. And I have got another one here and down there. And I've got a few more. Oh, look, here's a yellow one. And look, here's another green one. How exciting. September 19th today. Do you see the tops of that? Yeah, they're starting to die out. They're starting to get to the end of their natural life cycle. It is the first foggy day of fall. But look at all of the blooms on here, all of the offshoots. Let me get off of the step here and show you the progress of this one here. This is a nice big one considering it's a mini gourd. And right across from there is another little one. And we've got this one down here, and this one down here, and this one down here, and one at the very, very tip. And let's also take a look at this vine. This one looks lovely. We've got one starting at the bottom here, and we've also got one starting here. And these ants are all over this bloom here. Got some other ones hiding in here, but yeah, you can see we're starting to hit the end of our life cycle. Probably should come out here and do just a little bit of pruning. Look, you can see this one too didn't make it. Guys, today it is September 22nd. It's very early. It is getting cold. Fall is definitely approaching. Look at this little beauty right here. And right here, this one down here. You can see where I've started the tape measure pretty much parallel with the edge of that container. And this vine right here is at 12 feet. So this is probably more like 13 feet. You can see that one, that one. That one's getting pretty nice and big. Another one off of another side shoot. Look at all the side shoots coming off. And there's that big daddy right there. Here's another side shoot. I don't think this one's going to make it. However, this one looks very nice. All right, and you can see that the offshoot itself is probably at about 5.5 feet here. And I've taken it to the vine where this biggest Daisy Mix Gourd is. So you guys, it is September 26th today. Can you kind of see that little ring of green down there where the blossom was at the end? It will end up looking like this. Oh my God, those are so cute. I wanted you to see how long the vines are coming out onto the lawn. And this one is developing quite nicely. I think I'm going to go ahead and harvest this because it doesn't seem to be growing. And I'm gonna cut that with scissors because remember I told you, ooh, even right here, look at that. Got little thorns there. All right, here's a nice side view. You can see her side shoots, and you can see the last video she was still in the grass. Now she's starting to come onto the concrete. The concrete is not gonna hold water the way that soil and grass and some of those long weeds under it would. So I'm gonna leave them right here in the concrete. It is the end of September, so we don't have these hot days. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and try this because I just tried doing it with my left hand. Ooh, that was much easier with the right. I did have the gloves out, but I did leave, oh, see, that is very spiky. I'm gonna put my gloves back on. Oh, look how beautiful that is. Very nice. All right, yeah, so I definitely needed to put some gloves on. I tried cutting it with this hand before. I didn't have enough strength, so I did need to move to the right because this is a pretty thick stem here. And it does have a little bit of blemishes on the bottom. I don't need this big of a stem, but I really didn't want to scuff up the top with my scissors, so I wanted to allow just a little extra room here. And these could be brown for you, but yeah, these are decorative, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them now and get them off of the wet ground out here. And again, it started to stop growing. I had a little wind accident here, so I scotch taped that up. Look how fantastic. And another little yellow one there. That one doesn't look so hot. And I got this one on a stone. Like this one probably is not going to make it. Look how pale that looks. It also looks a little sickly, and it's very soft and spongy. And at the end of this side shoot, look at that. And it's loving to attach itself to the ground, just like pumpkins and everything in this family will. This looks fantastic. And can you see this one right here? Yeah. This is the one I'm probably gonna need to pick next. Again, looking at the longest vine from the opposite view, that is gorgeous. And where's it at? Right there. And right there. And right there on another little brick that looks more like a slate. And let's just follow that up. So you guys can see that that vine goes out way past the house. It's August 16th today, and it has frosted, and I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these harvested. Here's the first one I'm gonna go ahead and take, and you can see that the stem is really still green, and I gave myself a generous amount so I can kind of change that when I get into the house. There's another one that did not come up. You can see that one did not do well. This one right here did not do well. And this one that I actually put a brick under, yeah, look at all of that, all that kush, that did not do good. All right, let's go ahead and cut this. This stem looks much darker. I have to get on the other side. All right, that one just kind of shook off a little bit. Oh my God, these thorns are still something. You can see with this one here how much darker this stem is according to the vine. You can see it's a little powdery looking down here. Go ahead and get this harvested up for us. Ooh, that one cut really, really nice. Got some scuffing on the bottom. Pretty though, pretty on top. All right, let's go ahead and get this one here cut. That one's definitely tougher. Ooh, feel those thorns already. Okay. I do want to point out this is the vine that I had to tape up because of that windy storm. And it seemed to absolutely bother nothing. Okay, so I do want to point out that all of these side shoots over here, nothing came to fruition over here. This big old vine, which you can see is curved back, had a lot of different possibilities. And at the very tip of that vine, you can see there's 1, 2. That one looks really good. Look at that one. That one looks great too. Yeah, that's the one that doesn't look great. This one died out. Look at this one. That would have been fantastic if we would maybe be in a different zone. Look at this one here. Lots of great possibilities on this vine. We looked at that earlier, smushed that up. But yeah, I feel like this vine here would have had a lot more possibilities if we would have had more growing time. Okay, so I'm back in the house. Here are the additional 4. That's going to make a total of 6. And yeah, these are very cold. You can see very liquidy at the tip. There's what that looks like. So I got 4 really that look like this. I don't really see a flower pattern in here. I just see spotted variegation mainly. However, with this one, there is a 2-toned look to it. These are definitely like a lighter petal look, and then this forest green background. So yeah, I can actually see a flower right in this one. Okay, so this smallest one here, thorns really are not bothering me on this. These other 3 were a little bit brutal though. The variation at the bottom, it really doesn't look too symmetrical at the bottom. You can see it got a little scuffed up down there as well. This is the only one that I got like this, with a yellow and a green. It almost looks like it was just dipped at the bottom, but super cute, super cool. And this one we had already picked before. You can see this is a much lighter, almost a white flower look compared to what we just seen on this one. But look at that, and it's much bigger too, so who knows if this would have had time to grow, if it actually would have lightened up. And this is the one that kind of reminded me of the brown and serve rolls. They look like little hearts. This one, I guess they could look like hearts, but there's more of a spread here in between each of those petals, to where here there's an actual space, not really a spread in the color. But super cute, you guys. This one definitely has a lot of distinctive striping down it. Review time. So I did get these from Jung's Seeds and Plants. First, let's look at our seed packet. And here's all of our seeds. You can kind of see how big those seeds are. So these cost me $5.75 for 30 seeds. They're an annual, 95 days. It does give some information on your seed starting and your planting out. It does give some spacing information. Fancy Gourds is the heading that we are under. And if you can see this photo right here, this is definitely what attracted me to this variety. So, Fancy Gourds. Gourds are a vine crop that bears an abundance of ornamental, curious-shaped fruits, prized for fall decorating. Daisy Mix, 95 days. The gourds in the picture are not waxed or painted, but are naturally shiny, with the majority displaying a unique daisy pattern on the stem end. The colorful mix includes shades of orange, green, yellow, and white, with contrasting daisies. The high-yielding plants produce best when not overcrowded. And again, you get 30 seeds for $5.75. So I do want to go back to the seed packet where it says right here, requires a long, hot growing season. These are fine for zone 5. However, I think they are going to do better with a hotter climate. If you want to get a more prolific crop, I found these not to be very productive in zone 5. Once gourds are mature, harvest and dry slowly. I did not have a long enough period for some of these to mature on the vine. You can see after I had that first hard frost, I had to get out there and go ahead and harvest these. So you can go ahead after you harvest these and bring them in, wash them, dry them. You can put furniture polish on after you have about 5 to 7 days of airflow and drying them out. And they also recommend here to drill a small hole at the bottom of the gourds to hasten the drying. Okay, so this is 16 feet right here for these vines. All right, that's where it stopped from. And that again is 16. If I take that, it's actually another 16 feet up the trellis. So 16 and 16 is what? I want to remind you that I had 6 plants in here. Look how easily that they're pulling up. Oh yeah. I cannot wait to get all these weeds out of here. And I'm going to put some of this compost in here. All right, it looks so much better out here already. I loaded this up because this is going to freeze first. Okay, back in the house, less wind. Here is everything that I had to tie these up with going vertical. And I counted there are 26 other opportunities that I could have had if I were to have had a better plant hardiness zone. Some of them just weren't going to make it anyway. They were very spongy. So it is January, and you can see that these green Daisy Mix Gourds did continue to change color. Remember, they started as green. Go ahead and I'll flash you that pic now. Thank you so much for watching, and I invite you again to subscribe, as I have been gardening for over 40 years and have a lot to teach, show, grow, review, experiment with, and my favorite, a specific variety everything deep dive. So let's try new things together, mix it up, and have a glorious day.